Now comes the meat and potatoes of this new job hunting feast, and that is networking. You must always be networking if you're going to master the job hunt. The job hunting process goes something like this. Step 1, you get noticed. Step 2, you get the job interview. Step 3, you get the job offer. Your resume and your brand are there to attract people, to show them how great you are, to help you get noticed. But it is through networking and informational interviews that your job hunt will move on to the next level. If you're never getting in front of people and discussing jobs and careers, your job hunt is going to suffer. You won't get noticed as much as you're capable of, and you won't be as ready as you could be when interviews come. Without networking and without informational interviews, it is the equivalent of gearing up, prepping the bait and the fishing pole, but never going near the water. So you absolutely need to network. To get a better understanding of how to network, I suggest referring to the networking lessons of this course. But to give you some tips when it comes to this new job hunting process, remember this. Networking is best done when you don't think you need it, when you don't have anything to ask for, when you're not pressured by the need of finding a job, when you're employed and safe. When this happens, you can network naturally, and it can be mutually, and it can open doors that you never even thought existed. When you're employed, you can focus on giving and creating meaningful interactions and genuine relationships. It will take a bit of time, but wonderful things will happen, such as you learn much more about your target job, and you'll begin to have people in your corner rooting for you. Now here's a template that you can use to turn acquaintances into mentors. First, start by taking a genuine interest in the other person. This is easy if you have identified your target job or industry and you understand why you want it. It's easy to want to get to know more about someone when their job is what you want. You want to know what's their job like, what's their life like. Once you have this initial connection and it's fueled by your genuine interest, you'll find that genuine interest breeds genuine interest. You see the other person likely enjoys that someone else, you, wants to know about them. It's touching that ego and makes them feel good. So after they've talked about themselves for a good little while, they will likely ask something like, "How about you? Tell me about yourself." To which you can respond by letting them know very briefly the target that you're looking for. And you can immediately turn the conversation back to them and say something like this: "If you were in my shoes, what would you do?" Now, once again, you touch that ego. You ask their advice. And they're more than likely going to give it to you, especially if this individual is in the job or industry that you're trying to get into. Now, what you do is not ignore that advice. Actually, take notes, write it down if possible, and then act on it and follow through. Whatever their advice was, do it. Take a couple days, maybe 5 days or so, come back and report to them. And you can say something like this when you do: "Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me and answer my questions, especially for the advice that you gave me about XYZ. I followed what you suggested, and I found this and this and this. Now I have a question regarding this one particular topic that came up during my search. Can you tell me more about this? Or do you know someone? Who do you know that can teach me more about this?" This follow-up is extremely powerful because, once again, it touches that person's ego. In their eyes, you have given them value. You have taken their advice and actually performed the work. You put forth the effort and validated their voice. Your very actions told them that you heard them and you value them. And most people love that. In fact, it leads many to want to do more, to want to help you more. And slowly, acquaintances begin to become mentors who guide you and teach you and open doors for you. Now to your homework. Start by setting up an informational interview, but not just any informational interview. Set up an informational interview with someone who can guide you to your next job, your next career step. Then, from that informational interview, learn what is the next step that this person would take if they were in your shoes. And that's it. Go and take it. Speak with them, find somebody else, rinse and repeat, and watch your network grow. So, happy networking.